Yes, good afternoon everyone. Welcome to Lukmaan IAS. This is Takkar Rapid Series. In this lecture series, we are discussing 10 MCQs based on current affairs. Okay, so these are very important MCQs, and we are trying to ensure the quality MCQs based on current affairs. Evaluating your information knowledge about this current affairs is very important, and solving these MCQs will help in that direction. Let's start with today's 10 MCQs. First question regarding sand batteries. Yes, it was in news recently. Why? World's such first sand battery facility has come in Finland, Nordic country we can say. So what is this particular technology? Let's understand that and how it works. Regarding that, these two statements are asked here. We have to identify the correct statement. It is a type of energy storage device that uses sand material as its storage medium. As the name suggests, sand batteries, one can use that logic and mark this correct. The world's first commercial sand battery system has been located in Finland. Just now we talked about that, and both statements are correct here. Okay, so both 1 and 2 is the correct answer here. C is the correct answer. Now talking about the working of this system, how it works, let's understand that first. So Finland is located in higher latitude, and therefore largely the cooler temperatures are there, and that's why it requires continuous heating supply of sources, and Finland is one of the leading country which focuses more on renewable energy production. Now renewable energy is available, but what about the storage system? That is also very important, right? Yes, hello sir, I am not getting notification of Lukmaan IAS video. Why you are not getting notification? Yes, you may not have subscribed to the channel. ठीक है, तो आप जो पर्टिकुलर जो वीडियो सीरीज है उस पर आप लाइक करिए और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करिए, देन यू विल रिसीव द नोटिफिकेशंस ऑन डेली बेसिस, right? And if you are not getting notification also, this link is always there in the Lukmaan YouTube channel. Okay, so if you visit the page, you will get the link directly, and if you visit at 2 o'clock, it will show the first link itself. Okay, now heating of the sand, how the sand batteries work, let's understand that. So energy from renewable energy like wind energy is very prominent in Finland. So what they are going to do in this commercial facility, they are going to store this renewable energy in the sand battery. How it works, let's understand. Whatever the sand that has been extracted from the construction material as a residue, or we can say that is refused material, we can say, that sand is used as a storage material for this energy. Why? Because the sand is heated, it can be heated up to 600 degrees Celsius before it is melting. Okay, in a solid state itself, it is maintaining this temperature. Now it is good as compared to water. No, when water is boiled above 100 degrees Celsius, it is boiling, so it is difficult to maintain that amount of energy storage there. Now what happens here is, whatever the energy that is produced or electricity that is produced from this renewable energy source, it is used for heating the air first of all. The hot air is allowed to pass through the sand here. The sand is heated up to 600 degrees Celsius. Also, the unique characteristics of sand is that it releases the heat in a very slow manner. It releases heat in a very slow manner, and that's why we can say that it is good thing. That's why we can say that it is good thing. Now, what happens is, when it is to be used, जब ये सैंड बैटरी में स्टोर किया हुआ जो एनर्जी है, when it is to be used, then again the air is allowed to pass through this sand, and that hot air is used to heat the water. It is used to heat the water. तो ये जो air to water heat exchange है वो यहाँ रखा रहता है, and that water is then passed through district heating network throughout the city or throughout that region. Okay, that is a centralized heating network that we have in Nordic countries. Okay, this is how it is working, and the properties like it is solid till 600 degrees Celsius. It is also not easily losing the, let's say, heat. ये properties इसमें use कर रहा है. So it can be a game changer. It is being said like this. ठीक है. So sand battery, how it works, remember this. Now moving on, which of the following components are covered under Amrit Mission, Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation Scheme? Okay, so rejuvenation and urban transformation scheme. So let's identify which are all the programs, or we can say components of this Amrit scheme. But first of all, Amrit scheme was launched in 2015 and this is being implemented by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Okay, so remember this, Housing and Urban Affairs Amrit scheme. Now as the name suggests, it is for rejuvenation and urban transformation. So whatever the facilities that are given in the urban areas, the improvement of those facilities. Now this particular Amrit scheme is now being implemented as Amrit 2.0 since 2021 and it will be implemented till 31st March of 2023. Government schemes basic information is very important. Talking about the components, water supply and management of sewerage, this is there. Then drainage of storm water, this is also part of it. Improvement in the urban transport facility, one of the very important urban service. Development of green spaces and park, it is also there. Robust IT connectivity and digitization, this is not one of the component of Amrit. So fifth, eliminate the fifth and you will get the answer. Eliminate this. And yes, 1, 2, 3, 4 is the correct answer here. Along with that, other component is like we can say capacity building. Capacity building is the fifth component. Sixth component is reform implementation. Reform implementation. Okay, so these are the components under Amrit scheme. Remember this, we can expect question regarding Amrit scheme here. Okay, so yes, B is the correct answer, Anant, very good. So now moving on, consider the following statement regarding Contourment Board. Okay, Contourment Board is one of the type or form of ULB, urban local self bodies, urban local self government, we can say one of the form. So Contourment Boards, we are all aware about that. Largely these are the areas where the armed forces are stationed. Okay, armed forces are stationed all around the country. And these Contourment Board have been formed since, let's say, during the Britishers' time itself. Now, the central government may include within the cantonment any local area situated in the vicinity. That is true. Central government, after consultation with the state government or any other nearby local body, municipality, after consultation they can include or even exclude certain part of Contourment Board. So this is correct statement. Now, no objection can be raised by any civilian of that vicinity for the inclusion of any area within the board. Now this is not correct. No objection ऐसे कभी होता ही नहीं है. There is always certain kind of grievance redressal mechanism for any decisions, government decisions, right? So there is, we can say, provision for grievance redressal, and the civilian through, we can say that, appropriate authorities can raise their concern here. Now when any local area is first included in the cantonment, the residents do not automatically become entitled to be enrolled as elector of that cantonment board. Now this is not correct again. They are automatically becoming the let's say part of or we can say in the electoral rolls for that cantonment board. We are all aware that there are elections to the cantonment board, and yes, there is president, and this president is large, we can say that here the officer of armed forces largely, okay, officer, and thereafter there is elected representative, and thereafter we have CEO or we can say that chief executive officer, और जो डिफेंस स्टेट सर्विसेज से जो होते हैं ना आपके यूपीएससी के थ्रू, डिफेंस स्टेट सर्विसेज, they are, we can say that, the executives. So they are implementing the decisions taken by the elected and we can say the officer, the armed force officer together, right? So one only is the correct answer here. A is the correct answer. Yes, Anant, we need more clarity on of the knowledge here, and there it is in news recently. That's why we have asked question about this form of the urban local self-government. Now, in the context of Nagar One Yojana, consider the following statement and we have to identify the correct statement. Now, Nagar One Yojana was started in 2022 with an objective to have 200 Nagar Vans, that is urban forests. It will be developed under these schemes in the country. Okay, urban forests, Nagar One. Okay, so the scheme is implemented by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, not correct. Of course, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. So this is not correct. Nagar One cannot be developed on the forest land. ऐसा कोई criteria नहीं है. Forest as well as private land, not private land, forest as well as non-forest public lands. Okay, public land, not private, जो गवर्नमेंट के लैंड्स होते हैं. सो नॉन फॉरेस्ट पे भी वो डेवलप कर सकते हैं, फॉरेस्ट पे भी कर सकते हैं. द फाइनेंसेस फॉर द स्कीम आर पेड आउट ऑफ कैंपा. यस, कंपेंसेटरी अफॉरेस्टेशन फंड मैनेजमेंट एंड प्लानिंग अथॉरिटी. दिस इज करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट हियर. कैंपा इज फॉर दैट पर्पज ओनली. जो फंड्स कहां से आते हैं इसमें? Forest Conservation Act of 1980 talks about if any kind of forest area is to be diverted, then similar kind of plantation should be done. Similar kind of plantation should be done in other areas, and along with that, if suppose that entity is not doing that, then compensatory fund or let's say money should be transferred to this authority, and this Campa fund was created. This authority is actually the authority managing that fund. Okay, and this is now the statutory authority. Remember this. It was created executively, but it is now statutory authority. Fine. So what should be the answer here? B is the correct answer, right? 3 is the correct, right? Fourth का B सही है आनंद, correct answer है. Now, with reference to Buddhism, which of the following statement is not correct? I would give some 10 to 15 seconds to attempt this. क्या होना चाहिए इसका आंसर बताओ? ओके, फिफ्थ का बी बोल रहे हो. बाकी स्टूडेंट्स, यस, दोज हु आर ऑनलाइन, ट्राई टू गिव योर आंसर. इनकरेक्ट पूछा हुआ है बुद्धिज्म पे. सच काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस आर बीइंग आस्क्ड इन द प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन अबाउट बुद्धिज्म, जैनिज्म एंड ओवरऑल we can say ancient India. There are 3 principal elements in Buddhism: Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Yes, this is correct statement. Buddha itself, we can say the enlightened one. Thereafter, what is Dhamma? Dhamma is, we can say that Buddha's teachings, and Sangha is, we can say that the group of the followers of Buddhism, simply we can say, or we can say it is bhikkhus and bhikkhunis. So it is creating some kind of order. ठीक है, so this is correct statement. Buddhism rejects the authenticity of Vedas. This is also correct statement. So yes, Buddhism rejects the Vedas and Vedic philosophy. 3 Pitakas have been written in Ardha Magadhi language. Now this is incorrect. 3 Pitakas are important Buddhist literature, we can say. Important Buddhist literature. So Ardha Magadhi language. Now this is not correct. No, we are all aware this is in Pali language. अर्ध मगधी लैंग्वेज में क्या लिखा गया है? जैन लिटरेचर्स, लार्जली द जैन लिटरेचर एंड टीचिंग्स ऑफ Mahavir, Jain, so they are in Ardha Magadhi. Buddhist literature is largely in Pali language. So C is the incorrect answer, and we are asked to find out incorrect statement. So C is the answer here. In various Buddhist texts, Buddha is also referred as Tathagata or Shakya Muni. इससे आपको लॉजिक लग जाता है, ये it is given in NCERT, right? Shakya Muni, right? So yes, so C is the correct answer. Good, good, fine. Now moving on, consider the following statements with reference to Employees Provident Fund Organization, EPFO, and we have to identify the correct statements about. Every year UPSC is asking questions related to important government institutions, organizations, statutory ho या executively created ho, but yes, UPSC is asking such questions. EPFO is in news, Employees Provident Fund Organization. This organization was created as a statutory body under Employee Provident Act of 1952. Statutory body है, okay. It manages social security funds of workers in organized and semi-organized sectors in India. This is correct statement. Social security के लिए है, provident fund जिसको हम बोलते हैं. It implements the schemes like provident fund scheme, then pension scheme, then insurance scheme. These three schemes are basically for those employees in the formal sector, organized and semi-organized sector. So these are implemented by EPFO. It has universal account number for portability of the provident fund accounts of its members. This is true. Then it is under the administrative control of Ministry of Finance. Now this is not correct. It is under administrative control of Ministry of Labor and Employment. Labor and Employment. Okay, so 1 and 2 only is the correct answer. B is the correct answer. This, ठीक है, 6 का जो आंसर है 1 and 2 only is the correct answer. Okay, now moving on. Yes, now let's check your conceptual understanding here. Consider the following statement and we have to identify the correct statement. Let me give you some time here to attempt this question. क्या होना चाहिए इसका आंसर? Frictional unemployment, structural unemployment, seasonal unemployment, cyclical unemployment. हर एक चीज का आपको मीनिंग पता होना चाहिए. Every year UPSC asks basic questions on economy section. So basics related to employment आपको पता होना चाहिए. Okay, so yes, other students, yes, you also give answers in the comment box, right? So frictional unemployment is generally caused by fundamental shifts in an economy. This is not correct. Frictional unemployment is due to, we can say that, the kind of, let's say, shifting of jobs by the people. Okay, when the people are continuously shifting their jobs from one job to other job, we can say that that is frictional. That is frictional unemployment, and generally it is temporary. Generally it is temporary. एक दो महीने के बाद कुछ skills improve करके immediately the person is shifting to other company. Promotion चाहिए इसलिए वो shift करता है, तो उसको frictional बोलते हैं. Now which type of unemployment is generated by fundamental shifts in economy? It is structural. Structural in a sense that the economic sectors are changing their modes of production, processes, technology, and that's why new kinds of skills are required among the people, labor, and that's why when there are outdated skills, the people are not employable in new kinds of industries and let's say new technologies, and that's why such kind of, we can say, the structural unemployment is seen. Like for example, let's say the new technology is part of Industrial Revolution 4. So if suppose tomorrow they are going to change the nature of production, manufacturing and the service sector, new skills needs to be imparted to the next generation, otherwise there can be structural unemployment. Recent layoffs in the tech companies will lead to an increase in seasonal unemployment. Now what do you mean by seasonal? Seasonal मतलब season के और साल के कुछ पर्टिकुलर टाइम के लिए वो अनएम्प्लॉयड रहता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल वी कैन से एग्रीकल्चर लेबर. Agriculture labor is unemployed during the summer time because there is no work in the farms. So that is seasonal unemployment. Or sugarcane workers, let's say example, sugarcane workers, जब sugarcane cutting का time होता है उसी time पे उनको काम होता है, बाकी time पे काम नहीं होता है. So we can say that is seasonal unemployment. But what about recent layoffs in the tech companies? It is example of cyclical unemployment. It is example of cyclical unemployment. What is cyclical unemployment? It is related to, we can say, economic cycle. It is related to economic cycle, and when there are overall very low economic activities during, we can say that recession or depression. We are, let's say, experiencing recessionary trends at present. In future we can expect the depression if suppose the things are not worked out well. So what happens in such situation? Overall, let's say, economic activities are very less, new investment is not happening, and because of that what we experience is new recruitments are not done by the companies. और जो भी एक्स्ट्रा उनको लगता है कि ये काम जो है ये एम्प्लॉइज के लिए मतलब ज़्यादा है, सो दोज एम्प्लॉइज, अगर उनको लगता है कि बहुत ज़्यादा एम्प्लॉइज है, उनके पास इतने रिसोर्सेज नहीं है सैलरी पे करने के लिए, प्रॉफिट्स नहीं हो रहे, सो दे कैन ले ऑफ द पीपल. व्हाट वी आर सीइंग इन द आईटी इंडस्ट्री इन रीसेंट टाइम्स, इंक्लूडिंग ई-कॉमर्स जायंट्स. So that is example of cyclical unemployment. Okay, so this is also incorrect, and that's why answer should be neither one nor two here. Very good, Anand. D is the correct answer. Right. Fine. Moving on. Which of the following constitutional and legal provisions in India are related to NGOs, non-governmental organizations? Okay, so this is applied question. You may not find such information in one place. ठीक है, एक ही जगह पे आपको ऐसा किसी ने दिया नहीं होगा, कहीं पे कंटेंट या ऐसे एम लक्ष्मीकांत में या कहीं आपको नहीं मिलेगा ऐसे. सो यूपीएससी जनरली आस्क सच काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन जिसका आंसर जो है कहीं मिलता नहीं है. जैसे अभी रिसेंटली बोला गया है दैट इवन चैट जीपीटी फेल्ड यूपीएससी प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन. सो व्हाई? बिकॉज एवरीथिंग इज नॉट फाउंड ऑन द इंटरनेट. इवन यूपीएससी हैव सच काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन जो किसी को भी नहीं पता है उसका आंसर क्या है एग्जैक्टली, जब तक यूपीएससी खुद आंसर की नहीं देता है. Right. So yes. Now talking about the constitutional and legal provisions related to NGO, 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution. Now it talks about the charitable institutions and all in the concurrent list. Concurrent list में वो बोलते हैं तो वहाँ पे आएगा. Then Article 19 of Indian Constitution, it gives fundamental freedom of, we can say, freedom of or to form association, freedom to form association. It is part of Article 19. So 1 is there, 2 is there. Then Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, FCRA उसी के लिए है, foreign funding receive करने के लिए. So this is also there. Then the Societies Registration Act, so important trust or let's say NGOs, they are registered as societies. So under Societies Registration Act, Companies Act, especially section 8 of Companies Act deals with non-profit organizations. So non-profit organizations like NGOs, they are registered here. So all of this is correct answer. D is the correct answer here. Okay, D is the correct answer. All of this. Fine. Okay. Now moving on. Consider the following statements regarding enemy properties. Okay, enemy properties, recently it was in news. Now enemy property, like for example, let's say India had some wars with Pakistan, China, and suppose India had, let's say, take under control its property, enemy property. So that property is, we can say that managed, and even let's say many times it is sold, like at present it is being done. So how it is managed, let's understand. The question is related to that. Enemy property refers to any property belonging to or held or managed on behalf of an enemy subject or enemy firm. So this is correct statement. The custodian of enemy property administers the property as the trustee and enemy continues to be its owner. No, this is not correct. Okay, So ownership is also provided to custodian of enemy property for India. This is the institution, or we can say authority, custodian of enemy property for India, SEPI. He is the custodian as well as having ownership to deal or manage these properties, though this is incorrect, and that's why answer should be 1 only here. Okay, fine. Government starts process of eviction and sale of enemy properties, that's why it is in news. Now regarding submission on Nutri Cereals, Nutri Cereals, the name was given by Government of India in 2018 to which particular group of food grains? Millets. Now we are celebrating International Year on Millets. This year UN has declared 2023 as International Millets Year on Millets. So this is in news. We are expecting question in prelims as well as mains examination. किस तरीके से question आएगा? We are trying to cover in different dimensions. Many times we are asking questions related to millets. Okay, so yes, they are very nutritious, and that's why Nutri Cereals बोला गया है. Submission on Nutri Cereals is being implemented under NFSA since 2018 and 19. This is correct, and it is being implemented by Department of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Now this NFSM Nutri Cereals is being implemented in all districts of the country. Now this is not correct, and one can use the logic, no, millets are largely grown in the rain-fed areas and we can say semi-arid regions जहाँ पे थोड़ा rainfall कम है. So it is being implemented in 14 states, in the districts of 14 states and not all states. Remember this. So answer here should be 1 only. 1 only. Okay, so fine. So now you have understood that 10th answer क्या है? एक. These are the 10 MCQs from today's section. Any question related to these questions or in general your preparation of prelims examination? Will fall of SVB lead to greater layoffs in the tech companies? We cannot say that it will result into, but it will have impact on overall world economy also and Indian economy to some extent, and indirectly it will have impact on certain companies which were largely the borrowers from this bank. ठीक है, तो उन पे ऊपर ज़्यादा इम्पैक्ट करेगा. उन कंपनीज के ऊपर दूसरी कंपनीज अगर जो डिपेंडेंट होती है तो उन पे ज़्यादा इम्पैक्ट करेगा. तो चेन इफेक्ट होता है जनरली इकोनॉमी में, राइट? ओके देन, फाइन, लेट अस स्टॉप देन. ओके.